Superheroes, how are you today? Today I want to talk to you about webinar marketing. And one of the things with webinar marketing is it can feel really overwhelming when it comes to creating a webinar, filling the webinar, getting people to show up to the webinar, and then having that webinar convert into conversations. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about why the webinar actually doesn't matter. The number of people that show up to your webinar doesn't matter. Now you might be saying to me, Amanda, what do you mean? This is marketing. We want as many people to show up to the webinar as possible. And normally that would make sense. However, let's have a think about ideal clients. Our ideal client, your ideal client, is someone who runs a successful business. Your ideal client is someone that doesn't have a lot of time. Your ideal client is someone who has a pain but hasn't yet worked out how to overcome that pain and probably doesn't have the time to overcome that pain. Now, when someone signs up to a webinar, it means that the webinar marketing has hit the nail on the head. They've seen the webinar, they've seen, oh my gosh, this is going to help me overcome a pain. I must sign up for it. But when it comes to showing up to the webinar, because they're running a successful business, because they haven't got time to sit there and twiddle their thumbs, because they haven't got time to sit there for an hour and a half, 90 minutes to watch a webinar, it shows that they are probably your ideal client, because your ideal client is someone that is super busy, someone that runs a successful business and hasn't got the time to sit there twiddling their thumbs or learning how to overcome their problems. So what does that mean? Well, that means that the people who show up to your webinar are not necessarily your ideal clients, and the magic is in the people who don't show up to your webinar. The magic is actually having the people who don't show up to your webinar, having those people actually get in touch with you, or you get in touch with them. So the magic comes from following up on the no-shows, not following up on the people who do show, which is absolutely fine. There are people who are going to come to your webinar, they're going to get loads from it, and they might end up being clients. But the magic is following up with the no-shows. And this is the thing that everybody forgets to do. They think, oh, because you've come to my webinar, you're going to buy from me. Because you've come to my webinar, you're an ideal client, and actually that's not necessarily true. So what I want you to think about when you are creating webinars and you are marketing your webinars, and maybe you get 50 people sign up to come to your webinar, and maybe, just maybe, only 10% of them actually show up. You might get 5, 10 people come to your webinar and you feel disheartened and you feel exhausted and you're like, I've put in all this effort. It doesn't matter. It's actually quite exciting, because as long as the right people signed up, you can follow up and you can still get clients because they've raised their hand saying they have the pain that you actually said you were overcoming in the webinar. So when you do your webinar marketing, don't be disheartened if people don't show up. Yes, you can encourage them to show up to the webinar, but the magic is in the follow-up, not in the show up. So focus on getting people signed up. Focus on making sure that your webinar is seen everywhere by people. That, the fact that you're having a webinar, get as many people to sign up, get people to raise their hand and say that they are interested in what you're talking about, and then take the no-shows and work them like fury after the webinar and get them into a conversation, because they have a pain that you can overcome. They're just too busy to sit with you for 90 minutes whilst you do a webinar. They are probably your ideal clients. Good luck with it. Let me know how you get on. Webinars are phenomenal. I have done maybe 500-600 webinars now, 600 odd webinars since 2009, probably more than that actually. I do a webinar at least once to twice a month, sometimes every single week. I know what works and what doesn't. I've had webinars where I've had nobody show up. I've had webinars where I've had 600 or 1,000 people show up. The key thing is in the follow-up, not in those who show up. So please do listen to me when it comes to that. All right, if you would like some help with how to run a webinar, if you have no idea how to fill a webinar, how to get people to show up, how to plan a webinar, how to follow up, I do all of that training in our Momentum program. It's under where we nurture your audience. We build relationships, know, like, trust, and I teach you how to do Facebook groups and webinar marketing and email marketing under the nurture audience strategy, which is only one of 9 strategies in the Momentum program. If you would like to find out more about that, comment Momentum below or send me a message on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram with the word Momentum, and I will get you all the details. I'll speak to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.